Welcome back to Sankarea Undying Love Anime Review Part 4. Yeah, unexpectedly, I'm going to do one more video for this series. I thought this one just discussed the 3 OVAs, but because of how late it's getting, and I kind of want to put out one more video today, I'm going to discuss 2 of the OVAs, which are kind of counted as episodes 13 and 14 of the anime. Now, I did in fact do a little bit more research. Now, in the case of the flashback that was shown back in episode number, I believe, 10. No, it was 8. Yeah, 8. The whole thing when they showed the flashback of basically how Rhea's father met her mother. Yeah, that's taken from chapter 18. Though the circumstances are very similar to the meeting. Yeah, from what I can tell, because I didn't look closely at this one. And also, episode 9 is also not an anime original. I thought it was, but nope, it isn't. Because I did a little more research, because I learned a little bit more on manga. Yeah, it turns out episode 9 is actually adapted from chapter 12 of the series, which, that's interesting. Yes. And for episode 12, that's taken from a little bit of what looks like to be chapter 13, I think it was. Yeah, 13. They're at a festival, and it's briefly for a few pages, and that's it. Though they do change location, because in the manga, when they have Rhea talking to Wanko about their affection for Chokro, they're basically in the field. In the anime, they're in Chokro's bedroom. Now, what about the 2 OVAs? The first one is focused on Babo. Yep, Babo. Yes, and here's something quite strange, though. Apparently, Federation only dubbed just this OVA, and not the other 2 for some reason. I don't know why, but they never did. I'm like, really? The series got 3 OVAs and you only dubbed 1? Yeah, that makes no sense at all. This one is adapted from one of the one-shots of the series. Basically, chapter 14.5. Yep, it's focused on Babo, and like the episode starts off exactly how the manga chapter starts off, with seeing Rhea taking a shower. Yep, and we see her kind of in school. In the other one too, where they show off basically, it's a little bit highlights of chapter 14 there, basically show off her playing basketball. Yeah, that's actually from the manga itself, but the rest of basically a lot of this stuff is basically made for the anime, from what I can tell. I haven't looked any further than that. So, it's just day in Babo's life, basically she just wanders around and runs to a live cat where they play. And at one point, it looks like they're about to bite. She's about to bite. Babo's about to bite the other cat. And takes it back and starts eating Dranger leaves. Yep, and in the case of this OVA, this first one, it's basically before Rhea goes back to school, and the end's basically her going to school anyways. And the next one is her basically in school, where she basically still academics, all this other stuff, and her stepmother not being very happy with this. In fact, she's also been selected for the debate team. She's like to be punished. And then she goes home, where she doesn't eat at all. Then she decides to take a bath and fall asleep in the bath. And then the thing turns to a weird sequence where you have Miro cleaning in front of the temple, and then she spots a little girl, which, by the way, this turns out to be actually Arya, in the form of a little girl. Yeah, this is not actually figured out. It's not revealed this until, like, the end of the episode. She basically is trying to frame Rhea for various things. Like, first for apparently beating her, even though it was nowhere near her. She did this after Rhea went off to school. So, and of course, we also have Officer Egawa shows up. Yes, Officer Egawa. Now, excuse me, either this guy is named after the actual Japanese writer, or he's named after the character from Case Closed. I don't know. It's just basically what the series did. So, tries to take her to the hospital. Apparently she gets frightened by that, and apparently when she sees Rhea, she gets basically kind of like her old self. Yeah, there's hints of the fact this is Arya due to the fact her interactions with her glaring at Rhea. And then of course, Rhea spots her trying to kiss Jotaro on the lips, and basically Miro doesn't know if she believes or not, but Chotro, he believes her. He actually, yeah, she's actually telling the truth. She actually tried to kiss him, and then of course she escapes and she's her in the graveyard, and then she reveals, oh yeah, you did this because you wanted to seduce me. That's the reason why you did this, so you could take me away from her. That's the only reason why I did this. And then she rains hellfire, and then she just wakes up in the bathtub, and then she decides to take back her little punishment, and everything's like hunky dory. And apparently, Chocho remembers about the whole thing where that she apparently told him about the events toward the end of the episode. Ray knows nothing about this at all. So apparently, it was a shared dream sequence. I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, it's not exactly thoroughly explained, but apparently they had them share a similar dream. I thought that was kind of weird. But in the case of these two OVAs, I think the Baba one was good. It was well done. Surprised to sadly say that's actually the last of the dub for this series because, well, there's also the episode 0, which apparently is a prequel to the series. I'll get to that probably tomorrow, but I'm going to start off tomorrow with the Goblin Slayer movie. Then, of course, I'll basically watch that particular OVA. Yeah, in the case of these two, the second OVA, I had to watch it on YouTube. Yes, I had to watch it on YouTube. Luckily enough that the person who did the sub has actually put it on the extra channel. Now, normally this is kind of difficult to find a lot of the time. But not surprising though, I had to find an OVA in the original Japanese because the thing is, a lot of the time these OVAs, half the time they are dubbed, and the other half the time, they're not. Because, and this is my personal theory, they may or may not be included in the actual licensing stuff. That when they license the series to be dubbed, the OVAs may or may not be included. The only reason why I think they did the Baba one because probably Mon Curio probably asked for that one because she voices Babo, so you're like, hey, can we dub this one because Babo's in it? Because it's all about Babo? Okay, fine. That's probably my personal guess. Yeah, and also one thing I thought was really kind of interesting though about the first one, the one focused on Babo, is that we see him and we see the cat and Rhea take a shower together. Of course, she removes her bandages. She takes off the cat's bandages, bathes the cat, and then she puts on her own bandages back on, and then of course Chotro puts on basically the cat's bandages, a fresh set of bandages to keep her together, and that's simply that. Yeah, not much else to say about these two OVAs. I would say of the two of them, the Bible one was really good. Second one was weird, but it's more like a minor character piece for Arya. Because she apparently is like, she tries to seduce her own driver because her husband keeps neglecting her. Yeah. But not much else to say about this particular one. But, yeah, so one more video because of the time. Because I wanted to put out one video to add to the reason I did this one. Okay, so yeah, so that's it for this particular video, and that's a video to say because I gotta get up early tomorrow for work. So expect presumably 2 videos tomorrow. One being the final video for this series, the other one being review for the Goblin Slayer movie. So expect the Goblin Slayer one first, then the final one for this one, and then of course I'm going back to Naruto after that. Okay, see you next video. Bye.